Hey there, this is Corinne. Welcome to my channel, Karina. Today we're going to be talking about, is acupuncture safe? So if you want to hear more on the myths of acupuncture, please feel free to stay on. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification button. Okay, so this is something that people always ask me, is acupuncture safe? Absolutely, 100%. It's one of the safest forms of medical treatment that there's out there. There's barely any side effects. One of the few side effects that you may suffer from is swelling or bruising from the insertion of the needles. And that's about it. The most serious side effect is pneumothorax, which is a puncturing of the lung, which happens very, very, very rarely. And it's usually about improper needle technique on the acupuncturist's part, and a person that's frail or very thin, and again, the practitioner not needling appropriately, which hardly happens because we're trained ad nauseum on how to needle well. So if you are looking for an acupuncturist, make sure that you research the state licensing online and make sure that they're licensed, and you should be okay. So that's the only thing to worry about in terms of acupuncture, in terms of safety. And the needles should always be single use, sterilized. They're thrown away after each use. So again, if it's a practitioner that's not using the needles appropriately, or they're reusing disposable needles, or if they use an autoclaves, because there are acupuncturists that use reusable needles in autoclaves, and that should be treated like anything else that's in an autoclave that dentist office use, and nail salons. There's a whole procedure for that. I don't do that. I use single-use disposable needles. They get used on each individual person, and then they get put in a sharps container, and they get, I don't know where they go. They go somewhere where sharps containers go, and they get disposed of. But yeah, it's disposable. They're really safe. I've never, ever had a problem with needles, and I mean, I've been doing it for 13 years. They're really, really safe, and yeah, it's great. Okay, so got that clear. The needles are single use. They're safe. It's a great thing to include in your healthcare plan. Okay, so now specific groups of people. Pregnancy, 100% acupuncture is extremely safe for pregnancy. The only thing I would say is find an acupuncturist that specializes in pregnancy. I've been specializing in pregnancy over the last 13 years, so I do a lot of pregnant women, helping women get pregnant, stay pregnant during their pregnancy, postpartum. Acupuncture is amazing during pregnancy. There are specific points that you should not needle during pregnancy. I know them. Most acupuncturists know them. So make sure that you find an acupuncturist that specializes in pregnancy, and you'll be good to go. It's amazing to get acupuncture during pregnancy. I highly recommend it. The next group of people is elderly. Of course, acupuncture is amazing for elderly. The only side effect would be bruising, swelling, because the skin is a little thinner, so that could be a little bit of a problem. But for the most part, amazing. It helps with pain, it helps with cognitive function, it helps with almost every health issue that the elderly population is dealing with. It could be a great adjunct to whatever healthcare provider that they're using. Yes, yes, and yes. And another group of people are kids. 100%. Acupuncture is amazing for children. Find someone that specializes in pediatrics. I don't. I love children. I just don't treat kids usually, unless it's a client who wants to really bring in their child. But overall, I don't treat kids, but you can find acupuncturists. That's pretty much what they do. They do peds. So for sure, it's wonderful for kids. It's amazing to see kids transform with acupuncture. It's fun. So find an acupuncturist that specializes in children. I think I talked about all of those things, groups of people. Another thing that people ask me about, can I get acupuncture daily? If you want, if you can afford it, if you have a health condition that merits it, yeah, I would say go for it. It's not very common in the States to get acupuncture daily because of the cost factor. In Asia, they get acupuncture daily, especially if they're going through something significant. So you could get acupuncture daily. Do people do it? Not really. I would say once a week, especially if you're going through something specific. Acupuncture is definitely recommended once a week. And then until your health issues feeling better, and then you change your prognosis to every other week, once a month. You kind of come up for tune-ups every other month. So whatever you're dealing with, the acupuncture treatments will match that accordingly. But yeah, you can get it every day if you want to. I wouldn't you don't have to unless you have something going on, and it can be pricey. So if you can do it, I say do it. Can you do acupuncture if you're flying that day? Absolutely. If you're flying or you're doing any kind of travel, acupuncture is great. It can probably help you relax for your travel. Post traveling and acupuncture is fine. Can you drink alcohol when you're getting acupuncture? You can drink alcohol. I wouldn't suggest drinking alcohol before an acupuncture session, but you can drink 2 hours after. 2 hours because you want to let the treatment do its work and then drink. But keep in mind, acupuncture sessions can vary between 24 to 48 hours after the treatment. Your body is still metabolizing the treatment. It's still working on you. So I definitely would suggest not drinking after acupuncture, but it's a personal choice. And I would say at least wait 2 hours if you're gonna drink. But it's highly safe. You can get acupuncture, drink, and don't drive, over the limit or anything. But, you can live your life. You can get acupuncture. It's not gonna affect things in a way that you can't live your life. But definitely wait 2 hours if you're gonna drink. And if you're gonna do recreational drugs, don't. I mean, maybe a gummy or something, but 2 hours. Anything that you do recreationally, I would say just wait 2 hours as a rule of thumb. So the myths. This is one of the questions I get all the time, especially when I'm in networking events or when I'm out in the world. And it's one of those things where I always want to school my face and pray to and bring love into my heart and really speak from a loving place, because it's a very annoying question. Oh, I think it's very annoying. So the question is, does acupuncture work? Yeah, of course it works. It's 5,000 years old. I mean, it's older than Western medicine. It's a very, very condescending question. However, you gotta give people grace, and I wanna be a loving human being, so I have to respond in a loving way. But internally, I'm thinking, it's 5,000 years old. Why would it not work? It's thousands of years old. The proof is in the pudding. But in any case, yes, acupuncture works. If it didn't work, we wouldn't be doing it, and people wouldn't be getting results. It's a hard concept for people to understand because it seems very foreign in our Western world that we're putting needles in the body and something's happening. But it's in the Matrix. Remember when Neo, he had all those needles in, and then they were acupuncture needles. I thought that was very cool, because even in the future and in make-believe movies, they know that acupuncture works, because it does. It's an amazing practice in medicine. So if you haven't tried it, you should try it. Put your doubts aside. If you're thinking, oh my God, this is not going to work. How could it not work? 5,000 years old. It's been in the world for that long. It's even older than Christianity. I mean, it's old. So it works. Of course it works. And what else do people ask me about? Is it scientifically proven? Western medicine has only been a few hundred years old. It's new in comparison to acupuncture. But in any case, we live in the Western world, so we want proof. There are a lot of research out there. There's a lot of research studies that are showing acupuncture to be effective. It's one of these medicines that it's not entirely easy to create a study around. There's not always funding, etc., etc. It costs a lot to create research projects. However, if you go online and you look for studies, there are acupuncture studies. There's even one on IVF, which is why IVF and acupuncture have become so common, because there was a study proving that IVF and acupuncture, the IVF process becomes more effective with the use of acupuncture. There's tons of research showing that acupuncture is effective for pain. So it's out there. Acupuncture does work, and there is scientific evidence to prove that. But even if it didn't have that, it's anecdotal. You go and you feel better. If you feel better, it works, right? So it's not placebo. It's not something that it's happening in your mind and I'm putting in random needles and it's working because I'm amazing. I am amazing. I'm magical. But it's more than me. It's the medicine. So sometimes people that don't believe in acupuncture, I'm like, okay, come in, and they feel better. Like I've converted people. I have. There are people that don't believe that it works, and they get on my table and they leave changed people because acupuncture works. So yeah, if you haven't tried acupuncture, try it. If you have doubts, try it. Is it safe? Yes. Is it something that you should give a try? Absolutely yes. And if it's something that you've been thinking about and you've been kind of like, oh, needles, try it anyway. It changed my life. And I have to say, I am somebody that does not like pain. I do not like needles. For me to get a shot is like extremely difficult. I don't like to give blood. I don't like anything to do with needles, actually. I don't, because they're painful. I'm still traumatized by all the vaccines I had to undergo as a kid. So that being said, I got acupuncture because I had a health issue. I had a cyst on my ovary and I didn't want to get surgery, and I got acupuncture. Somebody that does not like needles, and it changed my life. So here I am 15 years later talking about how amazing this medicine is because it's so effective. It's been so effective in my life and the hundreds of people I've treated. And if you're scared of needles, I'm going to do another video on needles. However, they're very, very thin. They're very thin. You could take 20 acupuncture needles and put it in one syringe. And a syringe is the needle that they take blood out of, or you get a vaccine in. You can put 20 acupuncture needles in that needle to give you an idea of how small they are. They're rounded at the tip. You know, they're not as scary as they seem. So, and they're safe. This is what the video is about. Safety. Acupuncture Safe. So if you have any issues, questions, feel free to comment below. Questions, you know, I'm happy to answer them and debunk any myths you had about acupuncture. It's magical. It's amazing. It changes your life. So if you've never tried acupuncture, please give it a try and come see me in Lafayette, California. I'd love to see you. I'd love to help you with any health issue that you're having. So I'm sending you lots of love and have a great day.